So today I want to compare Robinhood versus Webull and see which one might be a better fit for you. And I thought what better way to do this than actually have the apps loaded up here in real time and kind of take you through different platform benefits that each one might have. Now, as we go through this list and see the different features that you might find more beneficial for you, I'll have the links for them in these show notes down below for you. They do help support out the channel financially, but you get free content just like this. But the best part is both of them give you some free stocks just for signing up. So make sure you check out those links down below while we go through this list. Now, here's the first thing we're going to talk about, which is with Robinhood. So Robinhood is a pretty popular app. Of course, there are some big negatives that have been around in the media talking about what has been bad about the platform. And some of it can pertain to a lot of users, but for others, it actually might not be a big enough deal to actually warrant not using the app. So to each their own. I understand why some people will dislike this app. But if we just go ahead and talk about the platform as a user interface feature, this right over here takes the cake when it comes to actually just getting started with an investing platform. So you can see here I'm on a Robinhood account. This demo account right here, you can see it has a big graph right at the very beginning. You can see how you're doing for the day, for the week, the month, the 3 months, and even a year. So you can really follow along. You can toggle your finger on here and see where you were, at a certain time of the year. So you can kind of get a better idea of how your account is performing. Now you can see your buying power right at the very top currently and seeing how it actually has an impact to be able to buy more stocks. And then I just refreshed the app right here so you can see some notifications that are going on because I swiped through them earlier. So you can keep up with some of the latest news. This is typically curated based off of what you have in your portfolio, as well as some of the things that are in your watch list and some of the biggest news out there. So you can really hone in on what is going on in the market and how things are being affected. So you can swipe around. You could either view the articles if you go in here, and it's really nice and curated, and it tells you right over here, these different storylines that can be having an impact on the stocks that you have. Now, if we scroll down here, you can see with stocks, you can see which companies you own, how many shares you have, and the nice thing is if you toggle the numbers on the right side, you can actually showcase how you want everything to be shown. So you can say today's returns if you wanted to. You can do total percentage change. You can even do total return. So you can have it curated how you want to when it comes to the app and how it functions properly for you. You can even go ahead and actually swipe these around as well too. So if you want different stocks at the top of the list or the bottom, you can have them however you want. Then you also have a list right over here. So if you want to be watching certain stocks, you can have them sitting here to be able to go through and watch. And you can actually get a good idea of how this functions going through the platform when it comes to deciding, okay, do I want these different companies in my portfolio or do I want to just keep on watching them? If you scroll down, you can see the earnings that they have. You can even scroll down and learn a little bit more about the actual companies as well if you're not too familiar. I usually still recommend going out into other platforms and websites to be able to learn more about the different stocks, where Robinhood, I would say the biggest flaw for them is going to be their lack of information on the app itself for each individual stock. Because right over here, you can see all the stats for a company. You can see their open, you can see their high-low, 52-week high-low. You can see their dividend if they have one, which a lot of times tends to be off from their actual dividend. So it's always a good idea to get, again, from a different website, but it has all that information right there and then for you. Now, when it comes to actually going through the process of buying a stock with Robinhood, this is really great. This actually has a very simple and easy way to go about it. So you can click on trade on any stock that you either have or want to have, click on buy, and then right over here, you can go ahead and say how many shares you want to buy of a given stock. Now, if you click on the top right-hand side, right over here, you have a lot of different order types that you can go through. They also explain the different order types as well, which is really nice. So that way you don't make big mistakes in case you are trying to just learn the process of what all these different order types actually mean. And the same thing happens when you go through and if you want to sell your stocks as well, you have a bunch of different order types for you to go through and sell your stocks. Now, again, there are some other pros and cons when it comes to using this. The trade option can get really overwhelming for a lot of people. So if you're somebody who's looking at this and it might seem a little cumbersome for you, no worries on here, but it is easy access on Robinhood, which can be a pro or a con depending on the users themselves. But I would highly encourage people to learn more about options trading before getting really into it. Now, when it comes to their search functionality, you can go ahead and browse on here. They have a trending list, so you can see all the different stocks that you can be getting into, whether it's in certain groups or if it's in the top trending or top movers. They have a lot of different areas for you to kind of look through and search. Now, if you keep going down, you can see there are a lot more articles, more so than that are curated at the beginning. And what you can see here is actually the companies that are really affected in that news article. So you can see right over here, Netflix has a really important feature in this article here. So it shows Netflix's performance over the last day. There's also even videos attached here as well too. So you get a lot of feedback from what is going on in real time, so you can make those decisions on whether you want to buy or sell. Now, one of the biggest downsides when it comes to Robinhood is the notifications when the stock is going up or down by a certain percentage. So this can trigger a lot of people's emotions when it comes to trading. So if you're somebody who can get easily swayed by just seeing the stock being up or down by 5%, that can be a big disadvantage. Luckily, they do have an option to be able to shut off the notifications. Now, if we swipe over to the Webull side of things, now Webull is a little bit different than Robinhood when it comes to the users that it tends to gravitate towards. So this is going to be a lot more for maybe I would say intermediate to a little bit more advanced users on the platforms. But again, even beginner investors can utilize this platform too. Now, when you open up the app, this is actually where it typically starts you, which is your watch list. So this is nice if you have certain stocks that you want to be paying attention to on a regular basis. That will be the first and foremost thing that you actually see. If we go ahead and switch over to the market tab over here, this will kind of show you the overall markets as well. So you can click on the Dow Jones, S&P 500, or even the NASDAQ and see all this happening in real time. Shows you IPOs, which is really popular for a lot of, intermediate to advanced investors. And it shows you a whole bunch of data, which is the biggest advantage that they have over Robinhood is the amount of data that you're going to be getting on this platform. So you can see right over here too, if we go to the main setup of Webull, you're going to see your assets page. Now, currently I actually sold off through everything that I had here on this demo account, but you can see here right now, you can only typically see how much you actually have invested in the account. Now, typically it'll show you your positions towards the bottom there, so that way you can see what you own, how many of it, your actual price, and then the current last price that it's been sold for. Now, if you're somebody who wants to see those graphs and see things changing, you can go to the P&L right over here, and you can see all the different things changing based off of its time frame. We're currently in our all right over here for this demo account, but if we go to like the last 5 days, or if you go to like the last month, you can see all the changes that happen in real time. And just like with Robinhood, you can kind of swipe your finger right in here, and it'll show you day by day, how that has impacted your portfolio. So if you still want to get those things, you can still get them right here on this app and get all those same types of functionalities. But like I said, there are a lot more data points you get with Webull than you would with Robinhood. So if we actually go over and actually check out a stock or an ETF or anything else like that, we're going to go ahead and actually do that. So what we're going to do is click on any stock here, and this is what it's going to look like for you to be able to utilize the app. And yes, at first, for some people, this might seem overwhelming, but you get used to it over time and get a really good idea of how it functions. But here on the actual app, you can see all these different data points that can give you really good insight if you want to make sure that you are paying attention to all the nitty-gritty stuff when it comes to making sure that's the right stock for you. So again, this gives you all the information. You also get the news as well, just like you would with Robinhood. You can actually even go to comments as well too, which kind of gives you a community feel as well. So if you want to see what other people are thinking of certain stocks, you can actually come over here and go through and read all of these, so you can make sure that you are potentially making the right decisions. You can also go to the analysis tool here, so it gives you a lot of great details on apps, way more than you would on Robinhood. Now, when it comes to trading the stock right here, if we click on the trade button, you can see there's the buy or sell. It's actually kind of all integrated into one. It shows you all your order types as well. This also does go over the details as well. So that's really great for both apps to kind of give you a little bit of a synopsis of how each one works. Of course, you could do your limit prices, the quantities, and then the trading hours, as well as time in force. Now, the really nice thing with both Robinhood and Webull is the fact that you can actually be trading after hours, which can make it really nice for some people who want to continue investing past the regular time frame that the market is open. Now, when it comes to going through the process of deciding which one works best for you, honestly, both of them can really be beneficial for different type of investors. Sometimes investors actually use both of them at the same time as well. So the best way to actually figure out which one would work best for you is to give each one a try, because they're both entirely free. There are no costs for the basic versions of both apps to be able to just get the basic functionalities of buying and selling stocks, ETFs, whatever works best for you in your investing style. Now, as I mentioned earlier, I will have a link for these in the show notes down below. They will give you some free stock just for going through the link and signing up, which means you can test these out entirely for free. And the one you don't like, you can sell the stock and use that money to fund your other account. Now, I actually want you to keep learning more in depth when it comes to using these platforms. So check out my video playlist right over here to keep on learning. My name is Dennis, and I'll see you in that next video.